player, my 97-year-old mother, you couldn't go through that game without being tired. It was a slugfest like I haven't seen since, sorry. Lucky we won or I wouldn't pick it up for you. But I said we had to do some things. I said we had to play with a little more toughness. And first half, I thought we did early, then I thought they did. Got every loose ball for a while. I thought we made some crazy turnovers. But to win a game that way was not for the faint at heart, but it was probably good for my program moving forward on what I think we got to do. You know, we held them to 30% from the field, 23 from the three. And as much, and I'm not downplaying Julian Reese not playing as many minutes, but in some ways it made it easier for us. In some ways it made it harder because now they're putting in more shooters. And we just had to cover so many people with different people that maybe we had worked on, to be fair about it with some of my guys. I guess the biggest thrill was I didn't think Malik played very well the first half. And, you know, we challenged him, timeouts, we challenged him at halftime, and he responded, you know. And I think a lot of times he always says, "What do you want from me?" I said, "The second half. That's all. Just give me the second half. I'll shut my mouth. I'll be cool. I'll be fine." But that is a good basketball team. And early on, when Scott hit those first 3 threes and then he didn't make any more, Jameer Young was unbelievable. Got to the line a lot. I thought we did everything we could do to try to guard him. I thought when shots went up, you know, we didn't rebound very well early, and then the second half we did. So, fist fight, big time, old time Big Ten basketball game. You don't have those as much anymore. I give a lot of credit to them. They are about as physical and tough as a team as I've played in a long time.
Hey Tom, congrats again on the win. Two-part question. Is there ever a concern after having a huge emotional and historic night like Tuesday, great night for the program, and then can the emotions kind of drag things out? And then secondly, your players in their warm-up had on BHM for Black History Month. What does it mean for the program to always represent when it comes to things like that?
Yeah, you know, that question's first. I mean, listen, there's so many things that haven't necessarily been fair in our country and this and that, and I think we're making some progress, still probably behind in a lot of ways, but you know, I just want to give guys a chance to appreciate. I love the anthem, everything else. I thought it was apropos for the month and apropos for Michigan State. We've, way back in the Duffy days, we kind of started the regime of getting black athletes up here. And personally, I take a lot of pride in that and what we did. And I read up on it, I listened to it. I heard the stories on Bear Bryant sending guys here. Wish Bear was alive and send me a few guys right now. But so in that respect, I thought that was great. And the first part was,
can there be an emotional high?
Yeah, you know, God, you hope not. I mean, you hope you're mature enough. And you know, usually where you'd see that is in the practices. I was really excited. I talked to the media guys. I thought we had good practices. I thought today we had a great shoot around, and I didn't think we didn't bring it. I thought just, you know, Doug Wojcik asked me something on the bench. He goes, "Are we playing softer? Are we not giving them enough credit how physically tough?" And then the second half he said, "Are we not giving us credit how physically tough we were?" And he's probably right on both accounts, but I love the way they play. I mean, it's they get after you. Give them credit.
+6 in the glass tonight, after being -15 in College Park. How much of that was your emphasis, and how much was Reese being out?
Yeah, I'm sure a little bit was Reese being out, but I thought our emphasis was a lot better, and I thought once Malik got going, he ends up with 7. I think he only had 2 at halftime. Malik Hall is every bit as good as I think he is. And I gotta push him to do that every night, because he's had 10 out of 11 really good games. For the most part, still hasn't rebounded like I think he can. But tonight was another example. He played 34 minutes. He had to guard a tough player. He had to guard a guy that was on the perimeter or something. After they changed up, all of a sudden Scott now, he had to guard him instead of AJ guarding him. And I thought Malik did a very good job. There's nothing that satisfies a coach more than to post somebody up and have them respond. It really is. It's the greatest thing that happens, because I think they realize, I probably have more to give, and I was proud of him. I was really happy for him. When other guys maybe weren't quite as sharp, Jaden coming off that great game, I don't know how much they hit bothered him, but he wasn't the same. And our big guys were okay, but it was Malik and Tyson and AJ. Did some good things. He had 8 assists. Played pretty good defense on Scott. That was a load for him to cover. So I'm just happy we got the win.
Tom, the stretch with after Maryland took the lead, and that was the point where Malik kind of took over. Because when he was starting to get active on the block, how much did that open up free up for him, and the rebounding side of it for him? It seemed like he was attacking a lot of those boards.
You saw it like I saw it, and I say it to him all the time. I don't hide behind it. He's a better rebounder than he's been playing. He is a very good defender, and he is improving his offensive skills every day. Shooting better from the 3, shooting 50% from the 3. His post moves are phenomenal, and he's finally fallen in love with it, where he can beat you on the turnaround, he can beat you on the hook, he can beat you in a pump fake. He's an effective player, and I think that's got to keep improving if we're going to take another step. And yet, we can't have Trey, we can't have Jaden. Those guys did not have as good games and turnovers and things. We need them to play better. Our bigs did pretty much what they needed to do. A little disappointed Marty only had 3 rebounds, but Coop had 6, and it was a tough game for those guys to play when they had to guard smaller guys, believe it or not.
Tom, I have only a question too. Just since that Northwestern game, it seems like he's really brought it pretty consistently every night. I mean, how much different is this team when you know what you're going to get out of him?
Oh, it's a lot different. I mean, because for the most part, I know what I'm going to get out of my guards, And for the most part, it's okay to get out of my centers what we got to get out of them, because we know they're limited in some ways, but they're exceptional defensively and usually rebounding. But we need another scorer, and when the league can average, I don't know what he's averaged since that game, but it's got to be 14, 15 points, and shooting a high percentage, and getting to the free throw line a little more. The rebounding thing is the last piece of the pie, and if we get that going, we'll do better.
Tom, Maryland went up 42-41, and after that you guys finished the game on a 22-12 run. Was that more of a coach-led comeback or a player-led comeback?
Oh, definitely coach-led. I mean, 100%. Hell no, it wasn't a coach-led, And that's the beauty of having a game like this is, AJ, Tyson in the huddle had some great, they had that backdoor play for him. That was his call, and he missed the shot, But there has been more and more communication in the huddles. A couple guys got out, a couple guys in the huddles. It's good. I think there's a lot of respect amongst the guys now. They know we're not where we need to be and where I think we could be. Do I think we got a lot of ceiling left? I do. Are we going to get there? We'll find out. But games like this actually helped us because of the way halftime was, the way the huddles were, the way the team kind of took ownership of some things and some situations. I was really proud of them for them.
Low scoring game, you had 9 players score baskets, Maryland only had 3. How much does your depth and balance help in a game like this?
Well, it was bizarre, you know, because the 2 kids that came in really playing on fire were Kaiser and Long, and they're 3-point shooters, you know. And, you know, and I mean, don't take me wrong, I'm sure it hurt what Reese out some, but, you know, I've had games, Wisconsin games, a week out, you know, and so it is what it is. And, but I said it was a game that I wouldn't want to officiate. I wouldn't want to have been on the TV. I told a man that. I wouldn't want to be you guys. And in all honesty, I didn't want to be me for a while. I sat there, I said, this sucks, you know? But we did bounce back. We scored a lot more points once we started scoring a few in the second half. But I don't think it was all us. We shot 44 and 29, but I thought they had a lot to do with how we shot. And I told Kevin that after. I believe that. So.
You guys started the game really strong defensively, and that kind of led to success offensively, and then those errant passes and all the turnovers, and then Maryland getting offensive boards. Just how much does that kind of suck the air out of a team or deflate you guys?
That's a polite way of saying it. That really ticked me off because, you know, we get a steal up in the middle of the court, they go down to the floor and get it, we don't, they get a layup. We had a couple of the most ridiculous turnovers. And we were playing our hearts out. And you know, besides Robbie Hummel and the media, coaching staff, I thought our fans were awesome. We gave them nothing to cheer about 90% of the time. They just hung with us, hung with us, hung with us, hung with us. And that too was like old times. I asked Jason Richardson and Matt Ishby, I said, remind you of things, you know? And Jason said, yeah, the game did, you know, because back then it was a football game on hardwood too. And but I was disappointed in why we couldn't, you know, our defense was so good and we're doing so well, and all of a sudden, you know, and I don't know if we didn't sub enough, guys got tired, I don't know what it was, but I promise you I'm gonna look at the film and try to figure it out.
Again, in the second half, you get an area, they get up 42-41, and there's a spurt. Do you trust this group now? Intense moments where a lot of teams might wobble, because you've had a number of those in the second half where the response is immediate right there.
Yeah, you know, it happened over at their place too, but I'm not sure I'm ready to say yes to that question. I think we're growing together. We are growing together, and sometimes you gotta go through these kind of games to grow together. But as much as I wanna blame us, there's not many times I actually believe in my heart what I say would be one thing, giving another coach credit, another team credit. This is what I believe. They had more to do with our ill doing than maybe us. And to me, that's the best compliment you give somebody. But at the same time, you know, they lost 2 tough games. We went up, we were up big their place. They came back, went up 1, 2, I think 3 at one point. And tonight we responded like immediately. And I think that'll help us as we move forward. I just want to know, why are we losing these? You know, I really want to look at the film and say, how many minutes of great basketball did we play? You know, we missed some good shots. I mean, Tyson missed a few. Jaden missed a few. I mean, Tyson misses a layup. We missed some layups in that too, and so that hurts too, and especially in games that are so tight. But win's a win, baby. We're just moving on, and we got a quick turnaround now, and you know, all we get to do is go play Minnesota, which we had a tight game with, and they just beat Northwestern. You know, go figure. I mean, I saw a little bit of the Penn State game. They're 11 down, and all of a sudden they're 20 up, and that's a 30-point change. You know, what is going on? You know, I don't know, but at least we were consistent today. You know, we didn't shoot it very well after the first 5 minutes, and that kind of continued until the last 5 minutes. So we were consistent, And both defenses were real consistent too.
I'm gonna ask you about taking this kind of effort on the road. You obviously had a game at Maryland like that, but when you talk about the things that this group can learn from this game, some of these other games in the last couple of weeks, is that something to take this now on the road, the toughness factor?
Well, I said, you know, and it's insulting to me, it's insulting to some of the players when the team and them were here, now Jay Rich and Ish and AJ Granger, and there were just some guys back, and it bothers me to think of my team not being tough enough. Some of it must be the way I coached them, and some of it must be some of the personnel, and some of it must be a little bit on them. So I think all three parties deserve some blame, but nobody here can say we've rebounded the ball and we've gotten after it like maybe we're used to here. And so we had some meetings about that, and just listen, as you get closer to the tournament, this is what has to happen. And like I said, I mean, I love the fact that Malik responded. I absolutely love it. You know, 5th year senior, who cares? You know, sooner or later it happens, you respond, and now can you grow from that, you know? And I said we had 3 good days of practice. Can we take practice to the game? That was the next thing we talked about. At times we did in parts of it, but they got a good team too. They got good players in that team too. So hats off to Kevin and the way he coached them, and hats off to Young. I mean, he was phenomenal. We threw a lot at him, and he just found ways. And you know, not a great 3-point shooter. Didn't necessarily shoot great tonight. When the game's on the line, he reminded me of Cleves. You know, he was going to make a shot. He was going to make a play. Love guys like that. Absolutely.
Coach, you talked about the players taking ownership during this game, especially at the end. So how much has the leadership quality of these players grown since the beginning of the season?
You know, I saw more. I mean, AJ and I and Tyson had a couple long meetings just about those kind of things. You know, if you guys want to finish the year off strong, or depending on, you know, it's got to happen. And I'm gonna put more pressure on you guys. I'm gonna coach you guys harder. You know, and those huddles, both of those guys I thought responded. Malik's still quiet, but he responded in his own way by getting his hands on a lot of balls. Even he tipped another one out early in that game. That was a big play. You know, Coop got that one big play. People don't realize how little things, but when you said that about we were up 16-5, and then the ball, we got the ball, we had a chance to go up again, and they just take it from us. The ball was on the floor, and they dive on it, and get a layup, and it just changed everything. Well, if that was at home and we did it, I think then the crowd gets into it. You know, people don't realize we had a play at their place early in the game. We're up 10. Ball goes on the floor, Marty dives, throws it to, I think it was Trey. He goes down, makes a layup. Nobody thinks nothing of it. It's, you know, 8 minutes left in the half. When you win by 2, those 2 points count the same as the other 2 points. And so those kind of plays motivate, stimulate a team, sometimes a fan base, but our fans were just absolutely awesome. I kept saying, why would they cheer? What are we giving them? But they did, and I appreciated it.
We have one final one on the far side.
Coach, we've seen a couple of shifts now where you've had Kohler and Cooper playing at the same time. I just wanted to know, how did you evaluate that combination of players? And then you can see using one going forward, or is it more situational?
Well, the only reason we did, and then all of a sudden it created problems because they started playing with almost 4-4-3 forwards and 2 guards, you know, and so it's hard to play those 2 guys under those circumstances. So we didn't get a sample size big enough, but you know, Jackson made a big shot, 2 points, you know, it counts. And I didn't think Marty was as sharp today, and yet Cooper did some things. I didn't think Cooper was as sharp, missed some layups and dunks, you know. Those things drive me crazy, but in his effort to block a shot or his effort defensively, those drive me, put a smile on my face. So, you know, just like Kevin said, you know, he's got some guys that are better defenders than shooters. He's got some guys that are better shooters than defenders. And if everybody could do both, they probably wouldn't be here. So it's challenging, to say the least. It's challenging a little bit, but hey, let me tell you, the way this season has gone here and everywhere else, I'm gonna take this win, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch Kentucky and Tennessee, and then I'll watch some film after that game. I just wanna get a look at some other teams that I know very well and see where are we, what are we doing, you know? So I appreciate it. Sorry that it was a grinder today, but it was hard on us on the bench. It's probably hard on you. Probably hard on